Welcome into Clear Picture Financial. We have Jason Noble. He is your host. You can find him at Prime Capital Investment Advisors. He's a fiduciary, holds his FINRA Series 66 securities registration, certified financial planner, retirement income certified professional with 18 years in the financial arena. I'm Morgan Patrick, consumer advocate. Each and every week, we hit the topics. And I tell you, we have a lot of fun doing this, but this is serious stuff. This is your retirement. This is your future. There's going to be that opportunity to get on the calendar with Jason and his team, again, at Prime Capital Investment Advisors. And those appointments that we're going to open up today are no cost, no obligation, simply no pressure. Well, the Secure Act 2.0 signed just before the new year, bringing big changes for folks from every phase and every stage of retirement planning and the journey itself. So just in case you missed this big game, right? Don't worry, because we got some highlights for you. So let's get into this, Jason. I mean, this is important stuff. Reduced penalty for failure to take RMDs. We'll start there.
Yeah, the excise tax penalty was 50% for failure to take the required minimum distributions, but that's been now reduced to 25%. So for IRAs, this tax further reduced to 10%. So reduction is effective as the bill signing, which was December 29th of 2022. So I think it's important to talk about that first, and then we could jump into the other aspects.
Okay.
A little bit more detail.
Absolutely. Well, let's do that. So Secure Act 2.0, we're going to start right here. Catch up if you can. Let's dive into that.
Yeah, catch up. I'm going to start with for employer-sponsored plans. The existing catch-up contribution of $7,500 will remain in place for those that are 50 years and older. Okay, so there's no changes there. However, in the year 2025, there's going to be an increase for those aged 60 to 63 as the annual catch-up amount increases to the greater of $10,000 or 150% more than the standard catch-up from 2024. So there's a lot to digest there, but we're going to see an increase of at least $10,000 or more in 2025 for those 60 to 63 years old. And there's more to come on this as time moves forward, but I wanted to say as well, this will be indexed for inflation going forward. So interesting information there. More for us to know, right, Morgan?
Yeah. I mean, this is very important stuff, and it's going to impact everybody that's going, towards retirement and through retirement. So being aware, making sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. We talk about that all the time, but this is your retirement. So make sure you're aware of everything that's going to be changing with Secure Act 2.0. Again, now it is in there. It is law. And so we've talked about the catch up if you can. Let's move to minimum mandatory distribution age. Another big deal.
Well, this applies to all the following accounts like traditional IRAs, SEP IRAs, Simples, rollover IRAs, most 401ks and 403b, small business accounts. All right. So in 2023, the age that will be raised from 72 years old to age 73. Now, Morgan, to provide context, the required minimum distributions were age 70 and a half all the way from 1986 to 2019. Right. And then since 2020, it jumped to 72 years old. And now in 2023, for the next 9 years, it's going to be 73. I want to give some birth years as a way for people to start looking at this, because this will be easier, I feel, to convey. If you were born in 1950 or earlier, well, your RMD is at age 72. If you were born between 1951 and 1959, your RMD will be at 73 years old. And if you're born at 1960 or later, it will be 75 years old.
Very, very helpful. If you've got any questions about Secure Act 2.0 and how that's going to impact your retirement, you can always get on the calendar with Jason Noble and his team. Again, we're going to open up opportunities for you to get on his calendar. No cost, no obligation, simply no pressure. Let's roll on. Secure Act 2.0, we've talked about, again, reduced penalty for failure to take RMDs. That is a big, big deal. Catch up if you can, talking about catch-up contributions, getting those numbers correct, knowing those numbers and how you can impact your retirement moving forward. And then the minimum mandatory distribution age, another set of numbers you really need to know. I love the way you broke it down and gave us the year, birth dates, and what you need to look forward to. Again, 1950 or early RMD starts at 72, 1951 to 1959 birth dates. 73 would be the RMD start date. And then 1960 or later, RMD start at 75. All right, this next one, Jason, another very important required auto 401k enrollment. This is in there.
This is in there, and it's really important to know that these adjustments that I'm about to outline are only for newly established 401ks. They do not apply to already established 401ks, okay? So what the ruling is requiring automatic 401k enrollment for those employees. The employers will be required to automatically enroll their employees into that 401k at a rate of at least 3%, but no more than 10%. Now, businesses with 10 or fewer workers and new companies in business for less than 3 years are among those that will be excluded from this new mandate that came out.
Tell you folks, so many moving parts when it comes to retirement. And, this is good news for retirees. Just be aware of what's going to change, how it's going to impact you. Again, Secure Act 2.0, it is now law. There are going to be changes for your retirement as you move forward. Work with a professional. There's going to be an opportunity to get on the calendar, and you can work with a fiduciary and Jason Noble, his team, see where you are in your planning process, see how Secure Act 2.0 is going to impact that retirement. Again, we'll open up those positions on his calendar here in just a little bit. So again, going over Secure Act 2.0, and these are the changes, things you need to be aware of. 1, reduced penalty for failure to take RMDs. Big deal. They're easing off of that. So that's a big benefit. And then catch-up contributions. Catch up if you can. They're giving you that opportunity to do it. Make sure you know what they are and make sure that you can get in there and make those changes, again, as you move towards retirement. And then minimum mandatory distribution age. We've talked about that. That is changing. That is a big deal. Make sure you're aware of all of that. And then required auto 401k enrollment. That's going to be part of this Secure Act 2.0. I should say it is. All right, so this last one that we have time for, tax and penalty-free rollover from 529s to Roth IRAs. This is an interesting one because so many people, Jason, have put a lot of money into 529s. And then what happens if your child doesn't want to go to school? I mean, the funds are there. So now they're taking that into account.
They're taking that into account, and it's just another arrow in a quiver for those who have excess funds in 529s. There's many other choices. This is just another arrow that they're adding. And before I get into this, I just want to say, you talked about our team. You mentioned our team.
Yes.
Now, I work on the wealth management side with personal finances. Now, with those that are listening that own businesses, and they're going, how does this impact my business and how does this impact me as a business owner? I have another division within our firm that's called QPA, Qualified Plan Advisors. They only specialize working with business owners and how that impacts them and their businesses for their qualified plans. So this is the services that we provide here at Prime Capital Investment Advisors. Is you don't want to be a generalist, right? You don't want to be to know everything about everything. No one could do that. I'm a specialist on the wealth management side, and I leverage the experience and knowledge and wisdom from those who work only with the business owners on the qualified plan side. So getting into the 529s, being able to be moved into a Roth IRA, this is so cool. So beneficiaries of the 529 college savings accounts are now permitted to roll up to $35,000 from a 529 account that's in their name over to a Roth IRA. Rollovers are subject to IRA annual contribution limits, though, and are available for 529 accounts that have been open for more than 15 years. Those rollovers are permitted to start next year in 2024.
Tell you folks, I mean, Secure Act 2.0, it is here. It is now law. There are a lot of changes, and they're positive changes. They're going to impact your retirement in a very positive way. Be aware of all of these changes and how it is going to, affect you as you move towards your retirement date and through retirement. So again, positive news. The opportunity to get on the calendar with Jason Noble and his team and talk about your retirement situation. How is Secure Act 2.0 going to impact you? I mean, you can ask all of these questions. Again, just to kind of hit the highlights, changes to Secure Act 2.0, and there are some changes. Reduced penalty for failure to take RMDs. Remember, it was 50%, and they're dropping that back to 25%. And then if you act in a very timely manner, it will drop even to 10%. So that's a big bonus for retirees that procrastinate or forget things. It's not as severe. Catch-up contributions, we've talked about those. Once you hit 50 and beyond, really a big bonus there for retirement, people saving for that retirement. And the minimum mandatory distribution age, again, I love the way you broke down the ages, kind of gives everybody an idea of how the RMD is going to work if your birthday is in a certain time frame. So 1950 or earlier, RMD starts at age 72. 1951 to 1959, again, RMD will start at 73. And then 1960 or later, RMD will start at age 75. We also talked about required auto 401k enrollment and then the tax penalty-free rollover for that 529 to a Roth IRA gives you an option there. Again, a lot of people saving for education, and maybe the child gets a free ride. Maybe they get a scholarship, or maybe they decide to go in a different direction. You have options there. So, Jason, listen, a lot of questions are going to pop up from our listeners. You're going to give them an opportunity to get on your calendar. Let's talk about, we have 10 spots for the upcoming week. What's going to happen for these 10 callers?
Yeah, if you're one of the next 10 callers, we're going to custom design a clear picture analysis, and that's going to indicate if you're in need of a full-blown wealth plan. We're going to refresh your financial plan, especially with all the changes that we're seeing in today's economy and the marketplace. We'll first use a risk-first approach to help protect the money and overall optimize your overall portfolio. We'll provide a review of your taxes to see if there's any way that we can put more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's, and we always evaluate the estate plan. Listeners, we want to put a peace of mind to your wealth plan for the rest of your life, providing that clear picture of your financial future. This will be complimentary, no obligation for the next 10 callers, Morgan, but how can they reach out to schedule these conversations?
So we have two convenient ways that you can do this. You can call this number, 800-948-1216. Again, the number, 800-948-1216, or you can text his name, Noble, to 600-700. That's Noble to 600-700. Again, we only have 10 positions, and they will go extremely fast. So this is your opportunity to kick the tires, get to know Jason, get to know his team, kind of see where you are, get this clear picture analysis when it comes to your retirement. You know, just wipe away the question marks. You're going to know if you have a lot of work to do. You're going to know if you're doing okay. That's what the clear picture analysis is for. Again, the opportunity to grab one of those 10 spots by calling 800-948-1216 is right now. So call it 800-948-1216, or you can text Noble to 600-700. That's Noble to 600-700. Well, we've got a lot to talk about coming up in our next segment, and it is this. What better way to start the new year by investing in yourself and your financial future? We'll talk about that next.